We are living, my friends, through the greatest era of free exposure of all time in the history of the world. In the history of the world, individual small businesses or human beings have the ability to get free exposure, attention. You know, the single most important asset on earth, attention. Free. In this group, free attention in the single most flourishing market on earth. You can imagine the energy that I had in my body flying out here from Manhattan for this talk. I'm gonna talk to thousands of people who are in the best market in what they do, facing the next decade, during the most scaled, free attention platform in the history of marketing, all at the same time. And yet 98% of the people in this room won't actually do anything about it. All based on the fact that they are insecure of not getting enough likes or getting a negative comment from somebody. This is what's called a conundrum. My friends, let me help all of you that struggle with people that leave negative comments. I'm gonna make this very simple. You are upset when you post and someone says, you're ugly, you're not smart, this is stupid, you should get off of this. Your friend texts you and say, you look silly, you're not good on video, whatever it is. I just want you to think about this for a second. Somebody on the receiving end of your content in their feed decided to take their own time and leave a comment to tell you that you're not good. Think about this. You should not be upset for yourself. You should be upset for them. Could you imagine how miserable of a life it is that you are so hurting inside that you need to go find somebody else's content and leave a comment to hurt them, to drag them down to your pain? This is something you have to wrap your head around. It will change the paradigm of how you view this. We must leave this conference understanding this final truth, that the biggest growth in this industry around the world are from the individuals who are outproducing their competitors in social media content. Whatever your feelings are about these platforms, you don't like your kids are on it, you don't like TikTok, you don't like this, you think it's silly. The market does not care what your opinion is of these platforms. The market is just acting like the market. And we must take advantage of this. Look, my sister has gone through this journey. My sister has transitioned from being a teacher to being a stay-at-home mom to now being a real estate agent over the last 4 to 5 years. And so, you know, I'm her older brother, we're very close. I am who I am, so we spend a lot of time together on this. And I've watched her go through the ups and downs. In a post-COVID world, it was completely crazy, even during COVID. And then in a post-COVID world, there's a real correction. This is why I wanted to make such a big point of how everyone's so fortunate to be in this market. Good markets confuse people. There's a lot of people in this room who are actually not that great that are doing very solid. It's not because they're great, it's because the overall market's great. What do I think? I think that people need to take on accountability. I've again interacted with the real estate broker quite a bit in the last 15 years, and I'm dumbfounded by how everybody would rather blame the government or the market instead of blaming themselves. You know, what happens? When you lose, it's your fault. And that's okay. Being a commission-based human means that you're at higher risk for failure. One of the reasons this industry is so interesting to so many people is it's lucrative. When it's good, it's good. But you know, to me, what do I think? I think that's merit. I think that's the human game. As a matter of fact, a lot of people here are gonna lose market share to the people that did raise their hands. The biggest thing that's been fascinating me in analyzing the market is how many experienced agents in here will lose business to far less experienced agents in here because the inexperienced agents are going to outflank them in marketing. And I don't think that they should blame TikTok for that. I think they should blame themselves.
So the opportunity is there, guys. It doesn't matter if you're new, if you can still achieve whatever you want to achieve.
I would argue it's never been better for new agents than it is now because of social media. Before social media, it was harder to build a book, right? How many people have been doing this for 15 years or more? Raise your hands. Raise it high. 15 or more. Please raise high. These people that have raised their hands, they know it was harder to break in 15 years ago. It's just so much easier, and I think people should take advantage of it. My concern is for the people that have been doing it for 15 years. I don't want them to lose market share because they are taking for granted that they have word of mouth. Social media is word of mouth at scale. This is a word of mouth business. This is a relationship business. To not use the pipes of social media to scale your word of mouth is crazy.
How would you do it to be more creative and not follow trends to stand out?
Are you posting at all?
That's where I'm struggling with.
Why don't you just follow trends?
Because I don't want to copy. I think a lot of agents here feel the same way. It's not just the fear.
So let me understand. Because you don't want to copy, you're just going to let everybody else get the business?
Yeah, true. Okay.
I have a better idea. Why don't you copy and get some of the business?
But how would you stand out?
You stand out because you're wearing a pink dress.
Okay.
You have to understand, you as a human being are already standing out because you're a different human being. You might say one word differently. You might have one different joke. One of the things I do, how many people here follow me? Raise your hands. Thank you. So a lot of you know, one of the things that make me, I love you back, brother. As a lot of you know, I talk about a lot of different things. I'm a very successful businessman who makes videos about going to garage sales and buying things for 50 cents and selling it for $2. All of us are different. You could talk about your history. Again, you can control your privacy or not, but good news, you'll love this, it's the truth. You're already different because you're just a different human being. You're also gonna have a listing that somebody else doesn't have. That already makes you different. The house is different. The apartment's different. The estate is different. Don't worry about that part. It's one of those silly things that doesn't mean anything. What most people are actually saying when they don't want to copy is they're sad they haven't started and they feel insecure that they have no followers. That's what you're really saying. Not maybe you, but I'm saying in general, right? The good news is, and I started with this in the beginning of the talk, it doesn't matter anymore how many followers you have. That game changed. Now it's about the individual piece of content. You could have 0 followers on TikTok and your first video could get 1 million views. That was unheard of for 10 years. The world's changed. It's now about the individual post, not about your followers, which should be huge for a lot of you because a lot of you didn't want to go on because your competitive broker has 10,000 and you're at 0 even though you're 10 times bigger than them and you were worried about the perception. That world doesn't exist anymore.